What's going on, everybody? Your boy JP, and yep, I got another hot one for y'all. Y'all weren't expecting this one. That's right, here it is, the Moto G 5G Plus. I actually found this at a website that I ordered from years ago that I forgot all about, and I do highly recommend them. Clove.uk, Clove. Clove, if I'm pronouncing it right, clove.uk.co, if I'm not mistaken. Just do a Google search for Clove. Pretty easy to find. Um, they um, they they always send me emails since the last time I ordered from them, and I happened to check my inbox and saw that they had the Moto G 5G Plus in stock. And this isn't out in America. We don't know if it's coming. Motorola did, as of yesterday, just put the Edge out on pre-order to ship out after July 31st. And now I'll get to that here shortly. I will be getting that, so I have a video for it and kind of tell you why I got that too, because I wasn't originally going to. But Motorola did say that they did have an affordable 5G phone coming out to the US later on this year. I don't think they were talking about the Edge. And it didn't sound like they were talking about this phone either. Maybe they were talking about a non-plus variant, because usually when you see a plus, you expect there to be a non-plus variant, just like with the Pros. You know how you have the Pogo F2 Pro? Well, you kind of assume that there's a Pogo F2 somewhere without the Pro, because the original Pogo Phone F1 didn't have Pro. It was just a Pogo Phone F1. So you assume that there's going to be a non-plus variant. Maybe with the Snapdragon, well, obviously, if it's still going to be 5G, the other lowest chipset, unless they go with MediaTek, is going to be the Snapdragon 690, which was just announced by Qualcomm a week or two ago. But this packs the Snapdragon 765. Interesting tidbit about this phone: in other parts of the world, it will be known as the Motorola Edge Lite. Now, what a lot of y'all probably already know is that the standard Edge is physically, for the most part, exactly the same as the Edge Plus. That's exclusive to Verizon, that has a Snapdragon 865. The standard Edge just trades the Snapdragon 865 for the Snapdragon 765. And obviously with a lower price point. And it will be available here in the US unlocked, which the Plus is not. Not yet, anyway. Doesn't mean it won't be. But they're physically the same. The Edge is known for that awesome-looking waterfall display. And what they mean by waterfall display is it's not just curved on the edges like a Samsung, but it's at like a 90-degree angle, I think. So it's even like more like cinematic, so to speak. It has a 21:9 aspect ratio. Those that know me know that I'm not huge on the curved screens. It does make them more fragile. I don't have a problem with ghost touching. A lot of these phones have software that prevents that. That's never really been a big issue of mine. But I know other people have that issue. It's not a. I prefer flat, yeah, but it's really not a. It's not a game. I mean, it's not a deal breaker to me or anything like that. But this phone is hot. This is the Edge Lite, where it's going to be known at in other parts of the world. The reason why they're giving this phone, the Moto G 5G Plus, the Edge Lite moniker in other parts of the world is because while the standard Edge is physically exactly the same as the Edge Plus, the Edge Lite, aka this phone, the Moto G 5G Plus, it is exactly like the standard Edge, but with the internally, I should say it's exactly the same internally. I'm trying to get my words straight here. It's exactly the same internally, but externally is what makes it light. It's still 6.7 inches. It still has that awesome 21:9 aspect ratio like the LG Velvet that I reviewed. I absolutely love that. I know Motorola released a couple of phones last year with this aspect ratio. So did Sony. Sony has a couple more this year as well. Motorola has also dropped a couple others, two besides this phone right here. But it's a 6.7-inch Full HD Plus 21:9 aspect, um, and beautiful phone actually. It's Gorilla Glass 5 in the front. The back I think is also Gorilla Glass 5, but I've also heard reports that it's just a really nice plastic build, like a Glastic that Samsung likes to call it. But you do got your quad camera set up, your flash. I like how they did the flash on this phone actually. It has the side fingerprint sensor, your volume rocker, your power, and your SIM and micro SD expansion slot there. Type C, your headphone port, speaker, etc. All the good stuff there. Nothing up here. Um, it has the same exact specs as the standard Edge, Snapdragon 765, the Adreno 620, I think it is. Um, again, 21:9 Full HD Plus, 6.7 inches. The difference is this is LCD, not AMOLED, but it's still a beautiful LCD. The viewing angles are great on this phone. And with that aspect ratio and the build, I swear this is glass. I mean, it feels fantastic. It's not the best feeling phone, like I said, the OG was, but this thing is awesome. You're always on display. Your fingerprint sensor is blazing fast. It does have facial recognition. Like the OnePlus Nord, it has dual wide angle selfie camera right there in the front, as you can see. And they leave them separated. Some phones has a thing in between the two sensors that's physically there. Other phones, if y'all remember the Redmi K30 and K30 5G, they actually had like that pill shape via software. They were physically separated like this, but Redmi had the software on the screen set to where it had a thing that made them appear like they were connected. And some phones they are connected. But I like that design a lot there actually. It doesn't feel like it's 6.7 inches with that aspect ratio, and it's just a joy to view. The only other major difference, obviously, you're not getting the in-display fingerprint sensor like you do with the Edge and Edge Plus because it's AMOLED. I mean, it's not AMOLED, it's LCD. But to me, it's in the fingerprint sensor on the side is my favorite physical spot for it. It's my favorite physical spot. If if it's not in the screen, I really like that. And sometimes I like it more than the screen. It just kind of depends. The only other major difference is I'm sure that there's a difference in the camera technologies as well, but this phone also has 4 gigs of RAM instead of 6. The standard Edge will have 6, as does most Snapdragon 765 and 765G powered phones have. This is the first one I think I've ever gotten. This is not only the first Snapdragon 765 phone I've had with only 4 gigs of RAM, the lowest amount, but I think it's the first 5G phone period I've had with 4 gigs of RAM, because of course you don't expect the Snapdragon 865 phones to have only 4 gigs of RAM, but if you go back on my channel, you'll see that I had the Redmi 10X 5G, which is powered by the Dimensity 820, and that one that I had actually had 8 gigs, but you can get it with 6 gigs, but it doesn't really go lower than that. The phone is fine. I mean, the phone is fine. I haven't really had any noticeable hiccups. It's the 765 processor is no slouch. I mean, this thing is blazing fast for the price. There's already a few reviews out for this phone that actually benchmark it against the Galaxy A71 5G, which was the last phone that I reviewed. Same processor, same, a lot of the same things, really. Of course, the Samsung has more RAM. And this actually scored higher in the benchmarks multiple times, like consistently, not just here and there, but consistently. And of course, that's thanks to stock Android. It does have our stockish Android. It does have Motorola's customizations, though, and they do a good job with their customizations. Nothing's gimmicky. Moto display, the usual Motorola stuff. I find their customizations to be just as good as Oxygen OS on your OnePlus phones. Obviously, it's a foreign phone, so you will want to make sure you have another wall charger or an adapter. Your USB Type C to USB A cable there. Of course, that's the little screen protector that the phone ships with. I just kind of put it back in the cart there. Talks about the ultra wide selfie I went over. Battery life, they say days of battery life. I found the battery life honestly to be pretty standard. The battery life to me hasn't been anything special, to be honest. I mean, it'll last a day, yeah, of course, but yeah, I mean, it's nothing. The fast charge, I think it's only like 15 watt. So I mean, it's not the fastest charging it's I mean, it's average. It's not bad. It's not terrible by any means. The Galaxy A71 5G's battery is worse, but and they're about the same size. Um, so take Motorola's advertisement there, with a grain of salt. Of course, it's always dependent on your usage. Um, this phone is a great alternative, really, to the OnePlus Nord. Um, in a lot of ways, to me, it's better. It's a bigger screen, 6.5, almost 6.5 on the Nord versus 6.7. They both have really good camera systems for their price range, front and back, with the dual selfie in the front, which you don't get on a lot of phones. Obviously you get OLED on the Nord, but with this you get expandable memory. And if y'all pay attention to my videos, my ums and my stutterings, and sometimes my long fingernails, as some of y'all pointed out, I am a big fan of micro SD expansion. Which I know a lot of people aren't, but I am. I'm not big on wireless charging as a lot of people are. So, and the Nord does not have wireless charging. This does not either. The OG does though. But it's a beautiful design. But yeah, I absolutely, this is, I got it again from Clover, or however you say it. Usually when you import phones, whenever you import phones, you kind of pay that import tax, if you will, because they're going to make a little extra money on you because they're having to ship it overseas for you. And then again, a lot of companies that already have it available in the U.S. charge even more because they've already done that work for you. So you end up paying a little premium. But a lot of times, depending on the phone, like the Poco F2 Pro, for example, it ends up being worth it depending on what you paid. This phone, I got it with, it came in 2 days. Because I ordered over the weekend, so it didn't ship till Monday. I got it on Wednesday, yesterday, because I'm doing this on Thursday, and it was DHL, and with tax and shipping, it was only $351 and some change. I don't remember the change, but it was $351 basically, $351. You can't beat that. You are not going to find a 5G phone this cheap unless you get the the Redmi 10X 5G, which has actually gone down a little bit since I bought it, and I paid about $370 for that. You could probably get that now for about $350, $340-ish. The Mi 10 Lite, actually, you can get for $330. And the 5G on that does work in the US. The 5G on this has been a little spotty, as it was on the Redmi 10X 5G. The LG Velvet that I had was the South Korean version, and it didn't work at all. But the Redmi, or not Redmi, but the Xiaomi Mi 10 Lite 5G, the 5G worked everywhere I was, just as if it was made for the US. The Red Magic 5G did as well. This phone, I really expected it to. But it didn't. It's spotty. It's spotty, just like the the Redmi 10X 5G. With that phone, I kind of thought it had something to do with the MediaTek, a processor. Because what I'm finding out with a lot of these phones is they're not listing all of the 5G bands like they are with 4G. So just because it doesn't have the band listed that you need doesn't mean it doesn't have it. But at the same time, if it does, you have to kind of be careful. If you sometimes you're taking it, it's a gamble. It may not have it listed and it may not really have it. So it just kind of depends. And this phone, it works, but it's spotty. It doesn't work as good as other foreign phones, with 5G that didn't have that bands listed, like the Xiaomi Mi 10 Lite. It's kind of disappointed on that, honestly. But of course, if the phone was ever officially released in the US, it'll work, wholeheartedly, of course. But fantastic phone here. Motorola did again just put the Edge, the standard unlocked Edge, up for pre-order for the US yesterday. as this phone was being delivered to me. I wasn't expecting that. I probably would have waited. Well, I mean, maybe not. I mean, this phone is still a fantastic price. You know, you can't beat 350. But Motorola has the edge right now for the US, so you know it's going to work on all the 5Gs except Verizon's millimeter wave, of course. Has to be specifically made for it with the millimeter wave hardware. It will work on Verizon, but only on LTE, to my knowledge. And maybe in the future, if Verizon ever builds out a low band 5G network as everyone else has, I'm sure it'll work on there. So it's already future proofed for 5G, and could be further future proofed if Verizon ever does something else besides their ultra wideband, aka millimeter wave. But the edge right now Motorola has, and it's only a temporary price from my understanding, but it's only $500, and that is a steal because you're getting the same physical build of the Edge Plus, for half the price. You're not taking that big of a hit on the processor or the RAM. You're getting 6 instead of 8 gigs, and you're getting the Snapdragon 765 instead of the 865. You're not gonna notice the difference, seriously. Just like how OnePlus advertised the Nord for getting all of the essentials right. That's the Edge. It's gonna have all of the essentials. I mean, this phone right here has all of the essentials. And 5G makes it future proof. But again, 4 gigs of RAM. I would like to have at least seen a 6 gig model. I think that would have been a lot better. I think for a little more, Motorola could have done that as well. They probably do, and it just wasn't on sale yet. Because if it was, I would have gotten it. But I think it does. It will have multiple, RAM and storage configurations. The internal storage on this is 128 gigs, but it does have expandable memory again, which I really like. It's a joy to hold. It's a lot like the LG because it has that 21:9 aspect ratio that LG made me fall in love with it. It does it better than this because it has that arc, that 3D arc they call it. And the Velvet's also dual edged, but it's not the waterfall style like the Motorola Edge. It's not as dramatic. It's more like what you've become accustomed to your Samsung phones. The waterfall again is different. It's something that Huawei did with the Mate 30 Pro. It's something that Oppo did with the Find X2. Motorola did it with the Edge Plus earlier this year, and the Edge, the standard one. And of course it still makes sense to call this phone the Edge Lite, because it's still an edge to edge display. As again is what they're going to call it in other regions, and it's internally minus the RAM exactly the same as the standard Edge. It's $150 cheaper as of right now from what I paid for this, and $350, considering I had to import it, is a fantastic deal for what you're getting. I mean, you're getting near flagship. You're getting a near flagship processor. I'm just going to say it like that. Qualcomm has the 765 positioned as, the processor below the 865. I know what you're going to say. Oh, well, Justin, JP, J Money, the Snapdragon 855 Plus, is better, is faster than the 765. And you can get that in phones for $300 or $400. Yeah, but you got other things to think about. It's not always about raw power. Most Snapdragon 855 Plus phones weren't 5G. You had to get a specific 5G variant, which will not cost just $300 or $400 even a year later. Those phones are going to cost more. So and also too, those older 5G phones, they don't have all of the frequencies that these newer ones are having. So it's even more of a gamble. So no. I mean, if you want 5G, if that's important to you, you're gonna want a 765 powered Snapdragon phone at least, and not an 855 Plus. So just that's just my opinion. I'm all in on 5G. It's the future. I'm all in on the future. I love mobile technology and where it's going. I try to be as future proof as possible. That's why most of the phones I've had on my channel lately have been 5G. That's why I'm all in on 5G. Here in Shreveport, 5G works on T-Mobile. It has since December, I think. AT&T low-band 5G started working here in April. Some people doubted me. Jay, will argued with me even, and you know, and was like, you know, oh no, it's not available anywhere yet. And then when I showed him the you know, the thing, the release thing, and this was like not even a month ago, but I showed him the thing from, I sent him a link from the thing in April where AT&T did announce low band 5G in multiple areas, and Shreveport was one of those areas. He just brushed it off, like he couldn't just tell me I was right. He just had some kind of other excuse or whatever, and that's kind of, you know, and that's kind of why I've kind of removed myself a little bit there from that there. I love his reviews. His review on the Edge, or not review because he doesn't have the Edge yet himself, but his video on the Edge and talking about the discount and what it has is actually what kind of pushed me to get it. He has a great video up of the LG Velvet, much better than mine. He has the AT&T version. You know, but yeah, just one of those things. You know, he doesn't like you know, being proven wrong, and he'll never, and even then he'll just brush it off and just kind of come on. I've had the issue before, but you know, it is what it is. That's why some of y'all were asking me. One of my last videos, I mentioned how I'm not very respected or whatever, and a lot of y'all in the comments were asking me, you know, what was going on? You know, tell us, and it wasn't, you know, wasn't that big of a deal. You know, I do appreciate the love that y'all show me. Obviously, I still watch his videos because all of this transpired before the videos on the Velvet and the Motorola Edge, you know. But just, you know, again, I'm all about future-proofing, and 5G is here. 5G, as of yesterday, I think, for AT&T, should be where he's at now, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're watching this, Jay, you should have it. But anyways, hope y'all like this video there. Sorry for my usual rambles there. I'm just going to show y'all the rest of everything. It does have a clear TPU case that I like. I like those. No pre-applied screen protector or one included in the box, unfortunately. SIM ejector tool, your literature. But yeah, this is a hot phone. This is a hot phone. If you're on a budget and you want 5G, this is it. 765 is going to play all of your games. I mean, this thing is a, I mean, it's I don't even think it's the 765G. I think it's just the 765, and it's just fine. It's just fine. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm going to get out of here. When I get that Edge in, I'm due to get it in on the 4th of August. And when I get it, you know I'm going to drop a video on that. I also got the Moto 360, 3rd generation smartwatch coming in as well. You know I'm going to drop a video on that as well. So, I hope y'all enjoy everything. I appreciate y'all. Until next time, peace.